Hey, hey, hey! Welcome. My name is Harmony, aka Harmonized Beauty. So I today thought I would show you guys how to do, I have always been obsessed with the look of like natural curls. They're the perfect ringlets, they look so awesome, they're a tight curl, and I feel like a lot of the times it's really hard to replicate, but that was kind of what I wanted to do with this hairstyle that I'm gonna show you today, is like a tight curl with a bunch of different texture without looking like Shirley Temple. So all I did, my hair is kind of a big disaster right now, but all I did was last night I shampooed, conditioned, washed like normal. I did not put any products in it when it was wet, and then I went to bed. And this is what I woke up looking like. So for me, I didn't put in a ponytail or anything, and I feel like if you have longer hair, this could help, but when you lay down, when you like go to lay your head on your pillow, just put all your hair up like this so that it's on your pillow up high, and that is going to, so that you're laying with your, pretend there's a pillow here, and you're laying with your hair up on that pillow, and that is gonna help with the volume. So, and you can see that's what I did, and then I slept, and I'm sure my hair got all sorts of, moved around while I was sleeping, but this is what it turned out like. So now I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do from here. Now, you guys know, if you've watched me for a while, I like to use the Halo Couture extensions. They are like it literally sits on your head like this, like a halo. That's why they're called Halo Coutures. That's an awesome look. But it's just got this little string that hooks into these little pockets right here, and you can put them in. I love these because they are no damage extensions. I love too that I can take them out. For me, I just can't stand having extensions in my hair permanently to where I can't take them out. I love shampooing my hair and really getting my hands at my scalp, so I love these because these are really easy. They stay in all day, they cause no damage, and I do feel like that they give you a lot of bulk without a whole lot of extra effort. Just like this, these can already be curled, and all I have to do is place them in my hair to get that little extra bulk and volume. Okay, so to get started, I will show you the tools that we're gonna use. I know, so I'm gonna be using 3 tools. I know that seems like a lot, but I promise it's well worth it. So I have this curling iron right here, which is a 3/4 inch curling iron. And then I have this little guy right here, which is a 1/2 inch curling iron. And then I have the Valoom, which if you've watched I do have a tutorial using this with straight hair. And it works really good with getting volume without having to back comb your hair. So the first thing that I'm gonna start off with is a dry shampoo. Today I'm gonna be using the Dove Care Between Washes, Volume and Fullness. So I'm actually in the process of reviewing a whole bunch of dry shampoos, and today this is the one that's on the agenda. So what I'm gonna do with this is I'm just taking and spraying sections, and I know you're probably like, wait a minute, you said you just washed your hair last night. Why are you putting dry shampoo in your hair? But hear me out on this. I promise if you put dry shampoo in your hair the very first day that you wash it, you shouldn't have to use it again. It will give you all the volume, fullness, as well as absorb the oil as the oils start to come, instead of it gets oily and then we try to cover it up. Plus it gives you good smelling hair on the first day. Who doesn't love that? So it's just, I always spray that in the roots and then just kind of let it work in. So I do like this, a Dove. This is the first time I've used it, and I feel like it doesn't leave a heavy residue on the hair, which I like. So we'll kind of roll with that. So I sprayed the dry shampoo in there, and the next thing I'm gonna do is just part my hair off. So I am parting my hair where my extensions are gonna be placed, but if you are not using extensions, you can just part your hair off, basically real similar to this, in a couple layers. So I always like to work in layers so that I know what I've curled, what I haven't curled, and then it makes it so much easier. Plus you always get a better look too at the end. So I've parted it off, and then I'm not gonna worry so much about really curling this front part yet, because I always like to do that kind of towards the end. So first, right around the face, this whole bottom layer, I'm not super concerned about it getting real tight curls because I am going to, because a lot of this is covered, and this is kind of the key too, I feel like, in making it not look like Shirley Temple. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how I did that. So I'm just taking small sections. I have the 3/4 inch iron, and I'm going to start at the root. I'm gonna wrap it around and hold it. Then you're gonna wrap it around and hold it, wrap it around and hold it, wrap it around, hold it, wrap it around, hold it, and then when you get to the ends, I just kind of pump it out, and then you can just pull it straight, just like so, so that it doesn't get too curly. Or, so this whole bottom layer I'm just gonna curl with this iron, starting at the top, wrapping around, holding it, wrap it around, hold it, wrap it around, hold it. And another thing you can do too is when you kind of get down to these ends, pull the curling iron through, but don't pull it all the way, and then pull it straight like that, and that's gonna give you a little bit flatter curl too. I'll show you that again when I get on the other side. Okay, so now that we're back to this front area so that you can see, start at the top, wrap it around. You wanna get as close to those roots as you can, and see how I'm just kind of pumping the iron, and then I wrap it around. So I bring in a little more hair, wrap it around, bring in a little more hair, wrap it around, and then now that I just kind of pumped it a little bit to where the ends were still left in there and still in the iron, and then pulled it out. And that just kind of gives you a little bit flatter, straighter curl instead of a bulky, tight curl. So again, wrap it around, pump it open, wrap it around, pump it open. And then when I get close to the ends, oh, I lost that one. So if you lose it in the iron, just pull it straight with your finger like that as the curl is still hot, and then it'll help make it a flatter curl. Okay, now that I've got that whole bottom layer curled, I am going to put in my Halo Couture hair extensions. So these have already been previously curled, and how I curled these was exact same way that I just curled my hair. So it's the same method. Now, so I place those in the hair to where I can't see the line, and you can already see what that does as far as the bulk. So when I curled these, I just took a couple pieces, and that's the glory of these, is I haven't curled them. It's been a good while. I don't even really touch them up at all, but I'm gonna show you, I just take very small sections because they're extensions and they're really bulky. If you take a big piece of hair and curl it, it'll easily wrap around, they all kind of clump together. So in order to keep them looking more natural looking and not like extensions, I take very small pieces within the extensions and just curl them the exact same way. So you can see, and so I just take the small pieces, curl them, random small pieces, and then do that. And I just do that throughout the whole extensions. And then you may take some bigger pieces too, but the key is to take some really small pieces in there and make sure you give those a curl so that it looks more natural. Then we're gonna go ahead and move to the next section. Now, if you have longer hair, so these irons are good for shorter hair. If you have longer hair, like I would say if your hair is past here, you could alternate this size of curling iron and then maybe a 1 inch. So a 3/4 inch and a 1 inch iron instead of these really small ones. I think you could still use these, but it would probably obviously be quite a bit curlier. So it's totally up to you, but that's definitely an option. Okay, so then I'm gonna take this next section and I'm gonna hold it up and I'm going to spray it with the Aveda Air Control Hairspray. This hairspray is my absolute favorite for root volume. There is nothing like it because it's super lightweight. It does not weigh the hair down. It doesn't get crunchy. It doesn't get stiff. It just is so lightweight. So once that hairspray is in there and I feel like it's dried, then I'll take my next step. Okay, now it's all dried. So I'm gonna hold the hair up, and now I've switched to the Valoom, and I'm just gonna get it as close to my root as I can, and I'm gonna clamp it once. That's it. And I'm gonna do that all over that whole section, all the way around. So now that I've got that all crimped all the way around, I'm going to move into this next layer with alternating the 2 irons. So I'm gonna start with this one, and every time I use this really small iron, the smallest iron, I am going to hold it at the root, wrap it around, whoa, that small barrel, clamp it down for just a second, and then I'm gonna pull it out. And when I pull it out, I'm gonna like hold it straight for a minute like this. See that? This to me is what really emulates like a natural curl. But I don't necessarily want all of them like that, right? So now I alternate, and now I'm gonna go back to my 3/4 inch iron right at the root, wrapping it around and holding it. And I'm just gonna continue doing that around my whole head. Okay? Okay, so we've got all of those ones done. If there's any random, no, those ones are good. So one thing too that I was thinking of is you could see like a lot of my ends are kind of frizzy and kind of curled just because of the little bit of natural curl that I have in my hair. If you have naturally curly hair on your own, absolutely just let it air dry with as much curl as possible. That's why I actually really like this hairstyle, by letting your hair naturally air dry, because you can see it kind of creates different kinks and stuff in it anyways. And then when you're going in with all these different curling irons and tools, you're creating a lot of different texture in the hair, which is gonna make it even more textured and have a nice natural look to it. So that's totally okay. So now once we get next section, I pull the next section down, and I'm gonna do the same thing. Air control, Valoom, alternating irons. Now when you're doing the Valoom, make sure you hold the hair up and Valoom that way instead of grabbing the hair and holding it down and you wanna get, let me show you right here. You wanna get as close to the root as possible so you can get closer by holding it up, where if you hold the hair down, see how you're basically cutting out that first section, and that's really where you want all the volume, is right there in that first section. So then I'm gonna curl, and I'm gonna start right up at the root, right where I ballooned with the iron. I like to keep it not quite as curly. I like to use the bigger size iron right around my face. So it's not the super duper tight curls, right around the face area. Okay, so we got the next section. All that one's all done. Now we got the next section, and we're gonna repeat. Just repeat the exact same process. Okay, so one thing is you wanna make sure, so when I'm doing this top back section right here, make sure you hold it up and wrap it around. Make sure you're holding that hair up so that you're getting right close to that root where you need to. And then you'll get the most volume too. Now for me, I have a lot of hair right here. For some reason, this is just like the densest part of my hair. So I am taking small sections. You want your sections to be fairly small here. throughout this whole process, you want them to be pretty small because that's what's gonna give you all that texture and the different curl patterns. So I just make sure I take small pieces, and you could see when I don't know if you could see when I did that last section, but there was a section over here that I took too big of a piece and it didn't curl as good as I wanted it to. So I went back and broke it down into a couple smaller pieces and recurled. Okay, so in this top section, you can see again how close I'm getting right to the root with that curling iron in my first curl pattern. So it's natural when you're curling your hair to want to hold the curling iron down a little bit further. So that means like when you pull that section, most people are going to want to kind of pull down here and start their curl down here. Make sure you hold that hair up and you get that curling iron right to that root as close as you can so that you can create that first curl right there, right at the root. Okay, so now I'm in the top back section and I am just going to continue. This one right here, I'm gonna use the Valoom on, but I'm not gonna use it on this one because this one is gonna be my top piece. So I don't necessarily want the Valoom, you know, right at the root on the very top to be shown. I just want that Valoom volume all throughout, underneath. So again, right at the root, starting at the base of the hair, wrapping that curling iron. So now that we have it done, that layer done, we're on basically our top layer. So I'm gonna part my hair down the middle, regardless of where I'm gonna part it. If I'm gonna do a side part, I'm still gonna part it down the middle. If I'm gonna do a middle part, I'm still gonna part it down the middle. So I'm gonna take this front piece right here and I'm just gonna take these little tiny hairs and I'm gonna take my curling iron because these are kind of crazy, and I'm just gonna take the 3/4 inch, the little bit bigger one, right at the root, and I'm just gonna kind of get it hot there, and then I'm gonna pull this hair down like that. And you can see I just did it at the root. So I curling iron at the root, clamp it just a little bit, get a little bit of heat there, and then I don't even follow it through the mid shaft and ends. And as the hair's still hot and cooling, I'm just kind of pulling it forward. If you've watched any of my other videos, I typically do this with the flat iron, but no need to pull out a flat iron when we've already got these tools here. So we're gonna utilize them. So we're just pulling that hair forward. This is to give you more volume in the front and kind of work with any crazy hair spots that you slept on and it got nuts. Okay, so once that's good and cool, continue down the middle part, and then you're just gonna do the same thing, except for, so right here in the front, if you have it, I really do feel like it kind of doesn't matter who you are or what your face shape is, you're gonna want to not do it as curly here. So I just think it looks better on everybody's face if the hair is not as curled. So to make it not as curled, you can take a bigger section and you're gonna curl back away from the face, but you can see I leave that curling iron on for like 1 second on the hair just to get a small bend in it, but not necessarily a full-on curl. Okay, so sorry, my camera cut out and I didn't realize it had stopped. So I'm gonna kind of just describe to you what I did. So around the face, I just kept doing the exact same thing. Now, and then one thing to remember when you get up here to the top, you just have to really make sure you get that curling iron right to the root and then curl at the root. So, and then I didn't Valoom anything in this very top layer at the root because we don't want to see all those crimpy curlies. Also too, you can kind of switch the textures. So you could just wrap around like this or do the clamp and curl. So see what a difference those two curls are. This is a ribbon curl. This right here, this is like a flat ribbon curl. This is how you achieve that, which is through the clamp and curl technique. If you want more of like this kind of curl, the round, bulkier curl, that's when you wrap it around. So for me, that's personally why I choose curling irons over wands, is because I feel like you can do both. You can get the same look you get with a wand with a curling iron, and you can clamp and curl. So you can, because I love different textured hair. I love when the hair has a lot of texture to it, when it has a lot of bulk, and I feel like you can really achieve that by using two different types of curling methods instead of the same curling method all throughout the hair. So, and then I'm just gonna kind of take my fingers and run it through and separate. Now, one of the best things too about this hairstyle is that it will last you days. Like, seriously, days on end. If you are, you wake up tomorrow, all you gotta do is touch up a few curls and you will be good to go. So another thing too is if you wanna part it on the side. So okay, if I wanted to part it down the middle, I could just leave it like that and be good. And then if I wanted to part it on the side, which I get a lot of questions on this too, all you do is then take, and a lot of the times when I wear this kind of hairdo, the first day I part it on the side, the second day I part it down the middle, the third day I might switch the part to a different side, but you can see that then by flipping it over, you can get some hairspray here and just really spray to kind of hold some of these hairs in place. But you've got just all kinds of texture in the hair, super cute, super fun. Another thing, so one thing I forgot I like to finish off with is the Pure Abundance Potion by Aveda. This is some of my favorites. So I just sprinkle it into the hair, mostly just at the roots. And this just provides a grip and a texture to the hair. And it swells the hair by 30%. Swells the hair by 30%, so it really does give you like that volume and that grip to the hair without being like super stiff or anything like that. So yeah, you really could just kind of go with it after that and then finish it off with your hairspray. For me, my favorite finishing hairspray is the Firmata by Aveda. It's a stronghold wet hairspray. I love this one. But so see, then you could just finish it off. But I think for me today, I'm gonna part down the middle. But I just wanted to show you real quick because I wear it like this a lot too, and people always say, how did you do that? And that is literally all it is. You part it down the middle and you curl, and then you flip it over. So that is the key. And then obviously products make a world of a difference as well. Products make a big difference, but we'll just, once we kind of get it where we want it, then throw some hairspray in there. And you're good to go. So kind of a fun curly technique. And like I said, the cool thing about this is this will last you days. This is maybe you put a little more work into it the first day, but then after that, you got days of curly hair that you barely even need to touch. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I will link these size of curling irons and the tools that I use, as well as the products, in the description below, so be sure to check that out. And then as always, subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see some more videos from me. So thank you for watching.